Alrighty, folks, we're now 3-0 in our last three daily best plays on my premium page. And that membership's going to run you just 6 cents a day for 30 days worth of access. We actually had the Reds minus $1.20 yesterday, and they took care of the Pirates by the final of 7-1. And we're also 3-0 in our last three chairman plays on my premium page as well. And the good news is I've got another chairman play going off here today for Tuesday. That play's already posted and ready for access in the post section. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you had a nice start to the new week. And if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Of course, if you want to access all of my premium plays, you may want to think about signing up for my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club membership. Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. I also have plenty of free content on my premium page as well. You're not obligated to buy anything. You can enjoy the free content, and that includes my current overall win-loss record. You can take a look at that right now. Just go to the post section and scroll down. Folks, I currently have over 2,445 members who are signed up and active on my premium page as of right now. With that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Gonna start off with the Cubs at the Marlins, 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Chicago's minus $1.45 on the road, totals 8.5. Jameson Taillon for the Cubs, Ryan Weathers for Miami. And despite a solid outing in Weathers' last start, these Marlins pitchers as a whole, well, they pretty much struggled for the majority of the season. Miami's in the bottom three in runs allowed per contest, and unfortunately for them, they're facing the highest road scoring team in the league. Seiya Suzuki's got 39 RBI on the year. Pete Crow Armstrong with 12 home runs. Chicago's last four straight on the road got over the total. 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. I like the Cubs minus 145, over 8.5. Reds Pirates, 6:40 Eastern start. Cincinnati's minus 130, totals 8. Nick Martinez for the Reds, Bailey Falter for Pittsburgh. Falter's just 2-3 with an ERA in the 4s. These Bucks pitchers have definitely struggled at PNC Park. They're striking out fewer batters per 9 at home than any other staff. And no real surprise, the Pirates are in the bottom 10 in hits allowed per contest on their own diamond. And they're facing a Cincy lineup who's done a nice job scoring runs on the road. They're a top 10 run-producing team in their travels. Elly De La Cruz, he leads the lineup in homers and ribbies. Gavin Lux with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. Now, total-wise, the Pirates saw 4 out of their last 7 divisional home games get over the total. I like the Reds minus 130, over 8. All right, next matchup. Braves, Nationals, 6:45 East. Atlanta's the $2 favorite, totals 8.5. Spencer Strider for the Braves, Mitchell Parker for Washington. Parker's 3-3 with a 1.30 whip. Of course, as a team, the Nats are currently on a 3-game winning streak. They swept the Orioles over the weekend in that Beltway series. And they're facing a Braves team who does play their worst away from Atlanta. The Braves are currently just 9-16 on the road, bottom 10 in hits per game in their travels. 8 out of the Braves' last 10 outings did stay under the number. Washington games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. I like the Nationals plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. Next game, Mets, Red Sox, 6:45 East. The Mets are minus 120, totals 9. Clay Holmes for the Mets, Walker Buehler for Boston. And Buehler comes into today's contest with an ERA of 4.28. Of course, these Boston pitchers have struggled a bit at Fenway. They're actually allowing nearly double-digit hits a game in front of their own fans. And they're facing a Mets lineup who's got little problems getting on the scoreboard. New York's a top 10 run-producing team on the road. Pete Alonso's hitting .301 with 37 runs batted in. Juan Soto's got 20 ribbies with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. When it comes to the total, the Red Sox saw overs in 6 out of their last 10 outings. I like the Mets minus 120, over 9. Next game, Astros Rays, 7:05 East. Tampa Bay is $1.20, totals 9.5. Brandon Walter making his debut for Houston. Zach Littell for Tampa Bay. Littell's just 3-5 on the year. The Rays are a bottom 10 run producing team. And they're facing an Astros club who's been tough to hit against. The Stros allow fewer hits per 9 than any other staff besides one. Of course, as a team, Houston got the W in 5 out of their last 7. Now, Houston games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Tampa Bay saw their last 4 straight at Steinbrenner Field stay under the total themselves. I like the Astros plus $1, under 9.5. Next matchup, Rangers-Yankees, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. New York's minus $1.90, totals 9. Will Warren for the Yankees, Patrick Corbin for the Rangers. Now, Texas is just 8-13 on the road this year. All kinds of problems at the plate. The Rangers are a bottom 5 run-scoring team. And they're going to face Will Warren, who's got 50 punch-outs and a 1.32 whip. Of course, these Yankee pitchers have been tough to hit against in the Bronx. They're allowing fewer hits per 9 at home than any other staff besides one. Now, 3 out of the Yankees' last 4 home games did fall under the total. Ranger games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. I like the Yankees minus 1.5, under 9. Next game, Padres, Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern start. San Diego's minus $1.20, totals 8. Dylan Cease for San Diego, Chris Bassett for Toronto. And despite some good stuff out of Bassett, these Toronto pitchers have not thrown well at home. The Jays are currently in the bottom 10 in runs allowed in their own building. And they're facing one of the better hitting teams in the National League in the Padres. San Diego is actually in the top 3 in the entire league in hits per game on the road. They're also striking out fewer times a game than any other lineup. Manny Machado's hitting .317, 14 doubles on the season. Fernando Tatis has a dozen homers, club leader in ribbies. 3 out of the Padres' last 4 road games did get over the total. Toronto games went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. I like the Padres minus 120, over 8. Orioles, Brewers, 7:40 Eastern start. Milwaukee's $1.25, totals 8.5. Logan Henderson for Milwaukee, Keegan Aiken for Baltimore. Now the O's are in the middle of a 7-game skid, losing record in their road games. Baltimore's just 7-16 when they hit first, bottom 5 in runs per game on the road. And they're facing a 2-0 Logan Henderson, who has an ERA in the 2s, whip of just .82. And as a team, the Brewers are winning 63% of their interleague home games. Now, 3 out of the Brewers' last 4 at home did fall under the total, 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I like the Brewers minus $1.25, under 8.5. Mariners, White Sox, 7:40 Eastern start. Seattle's $1.70, totals 8.5. Looks like a possible bullpen day for the M's. Bryce Wilson on the hill for Chicago. Now, Wilson's still winless through 33 innings of work, ERA of 6 flat. And these White Sox pitchers are now in the bottom 3 in strikeouts, bottom 10 in runs allowed. And they're facing a Seattle team who's had little problems getting base runners on the road. Seattle walks a handful of times per game in their travels. They're also in the top 3 in hits per game away from home. Cal Raleigh's got 15 homers, 32 ribbies. Jorge Polanco with 30 RBI himself. OPS of 922. When it comes to the total, the Mariners have seen 62% of their road games against American League opponents get over the number. And oddly enough, the White Sox saw 63% of their home games against American League opponents get over the number themselves. I like the Mariners minus 170 over 8.5. Tigers, Cardinals, 745 East. Detroit's $1.80, total 7.5. Tarek Skubal for the Tigers. Eric Fetty for St. Louis. Fetty's just 3-3 with a 1.30 whip. And these Cards pitchers are in the bottom 3 in strikeouts per game. They're facing a Detroit lineup who loves to hit on the road. Tigers are a top 3 run-scoring team in their travels. Spencer Torkelson has 12 homers, 38 RBI. Riley Green with 11 homers himself, 30 ribbies as well. 7 out of the Tigers' last 10 outings did get over the number. I like Detroit minus 1.5 over 7.5 runs. Phillies, Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. Philadelphia's 270, totals 10.5. Jesus Luzardo for Philadelphia. Antonio Senzatella for Colorado. Sensi's just 1-7 with an ERA of 6.39. Of course, these Colorado pitchers are allowing nearly a dozen hits a game at home. They're giving up more runs a game than any other staff. And they're facing a top 10 run-producing lineup in the Phils. Trey Turner's hitting .303. Kyle Schwarber with 16 bombs. 36 RBI. When it comes to the total, the Rockies saw their last 4 straight at home get over the number, 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. I like Philadelphia minus 1.5 over 10.5 runs. Guardians, Twins, 9:10 Eastern start. Cleveland's minus $1.20, total 7.5. Gavin Williams for Cleveland, Chris Paddock for Minnesota. Now, the Twins are hitting quite well at Target Field. Top 10 in runs per contest at home. Byron Buxton leads the roster in homers and ribbies. Harrison Bader with an on-base percentage of .366. And they're facing righty Gavin Williams, who has an ERA in the 4s, 1.64 whip. And these Guardian pitchers have definitely struggled on the road. They're in the bottom 5 in runs allowed while traveling. Now, total-wise, Cleveland road games have gone 15-9 to the over this year. I like the Twins plus $1 over 7.5. Royals, Giants, 9:45 East. San Francisco's $1.35, totals 8. Hayden Birdsong for the Giants. Michael Lorenzen for Kansas City. And despite some good stuff this year, Lorenzen does come into Tuesday's start with a 3-4 record on the year. Of course, most of that has to do with a lack of run production. The Royals are dead last in walks per game at the plate. They're actually in the bottom 3 in runs per game. And they're going to face Hayden Birdsong, who averages a strikeout an inning, ERA of 2.31. And this San Francisco pitching staff's also in the top 10 in fewest runs allowed per contest. Now, 6 out of the Giants' last 10 did fall under the total. KC games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. I like the Giants minus 135, under 8. Angels, Athletics, 10:05 East. The A's are minus 175, totals 10. Gunnar Hoagland for the A's, Kyle Hendricks for the Angels. When it comes to the run line, the Angels covered in 5 out of their last 7 on the road. Got a handful of guys who can get on base. Taylor Ward has 13 homers, club leader in RBI. And Nolan Chanel, he's got an on-base percentage of .365. They're facing an A's team who does play their worst baseball as the home team. The A's are just 8-14 on their own field. Pitching's been pretty horrible there as well. The A's give up nearly 11 hits a game in front of their own crowd. Now, 3 out of the A's last 4 home games did get over the total, 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. I like the Angels plus 1.5 over 10. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Diamondbacks, Dodgers, 10:10 Eastern first pitch. The Dodgers are minus 220, totals 9. Yoshi Yamamoto for the Dodgers, Ryan Nelson for Arizona. Nelson's got just one win on the year, ERA of 5.13. These Arizona pitchers have definitely struggled on the road. They're in the bottom 5 in runs allowed while traveling. And unfortunately for them, they're facing the highest run producing team in the league in Los Angeles. Double-digit hits a game on their own diamond. Freddie Freeman's hitting .368. Shohei Ohtani with 17 homers, OPS of 1078. Dodger games went 6-1 at the over in their last 7 at home. Arizona with overs in 3 out of their last 4 on the road. I like the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 9. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the Cubs minus 145, over 8.5. Reds minus 130, over 8. I'm 3-0. My last 3 daily best plays on my premium page. 3-0. My last 3 chairman plays as well. Nationals plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. New York Mets minus 120, over 9. Astros plus $1, under 9.5. Yankees minus 1.5, under 9. Padres minus 120, over 8. Brewers minus $1.25, under 8.5. Mariners minus 170, over 8.5 runs. Tigers minus 1.5, over 7.5. Phillies minus 1.5, over 10.5. Twins plus $1, over 7.5 runs. Giants minus 135, under 8. Angels plus 1.5, over 10. Give me the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 9 runs. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And just a friendly reminder, if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.